For most of human history, humans feared predators. Creatures with teeth, claws, venom, animals powerful enough to kill by force. But some of the most terrifying organisms on Earth do not hunt with strength. They do not chase prey. They do not need speed or violence, because they discovered something far more effective: control. Hidden inside forests, oceans, rivers, and even inside living bodies, there are parasites capable of hijacking the nervous systems of other creatures. They manipulate behavior, override instincts, alter fear, change movement, and sometimes force their hosts to destroy themselves. The most disturbing part is that this is not science fiction. These are real organisms documented by scientists around the world. And the deeper researchers study them, the more uncomfortable the implications become. Because once biology learns how to influence behavior, the line between free will and programming starts to blur. One of the most famous examples begins deep inside tropical forests. A fungus known as Cordyceps. At first, the infected ant appears normal. It continues walking, feeding, interacting with the colony. But slowly, the fungus spreads through its body. Microscopic filaments invade tissue. Chemicals begin altering behavior. And then something terrifying happens. The ant leaves the safety of its colony. Not randomly. Very specifically. Researchers discovered infected ants climb vegetation to nearly identical heights before locking themselves onto leaves or branches using what scientists call a death grip. Once attached, the ant dies. But the parasite is only beginning. Days later, a fungal stalk erupts from the corpse and releases spores onto the forest floor below, infecting more ants. The parasite effectively turns the ant into a delivery system. A living vehicle programmed to die in the perfect location for fungal reproduction. And perhaps the most disturbing part is how precise the process appears to be. Scientists discovered the fungus manipulates muscles and behavior without fully invading the ant's brain itself. Which means something terrifying. A creature does not necessarily need direct control of the brain to control behavior. It only needs access to the right biological signals. And suddenly, the idea of free will starts feeling less stable than we would like to believe. But Cordyceps is far from the only parasite capable of behavioral manipulation. Another organism may be even more disturbing because it potentially affects mammals, including humans. Toxoplasma gondii, a microscopic parasite capable of infecting nearly all warm-blooded animals. But its reproductive cycle depends on one specific host: cats. To reach cats, the parasite manipulates smaller animals first, especially rodents. Under normal conditions, mice instinctively fear the smell of cats. Their brains are wired for survival. But infected mice behave differently. Researchers discovered infected rodents become less afraid of cat urine. Some studies even suggest they become strangely attracted to it. The parasite appears to alter fear processing mechanisms inside the brain itself. As a result, infected mice move closer to predators, and the parasite successfully reaches its final host. The terrifying part is not merely the manipulation. It is the sophistication. This microscopic organism evolved the ability to reprogram survival instincts developed over millions of years of evolution. And then scientists discovered something even more unsettling. An enormous percentage of humans may already carry toxoplasma. Most people never notice symptoms. But researchers began investigating whether subtle behavioral changes might still occur. Some controversial studies suggested possible links between toxoplasma infection and increased risk-taking behavior, impulsivity, slowed reaction time. The science remains debated, but the possibility alone is deeply uncomfortable, because it raises a terrifying question. How much of human behavior is truly conscious choice, and how much is biology quietly influencing from underneath? Nature contains countless examples of organisms rewriting the behavior of others. Some are so horrifying they sound fictional. In rivers and oceans, parasites invade fish and slowly consume parts of their bodies while keeping the host alive. One of the strangest examples is the tongue-eating louse. A parasitic crustacean that enters through a fish's gills, attaches itself to the tongue, drains blood until the organ dies, and then physically replaces it. The parasite effectively becomes the fish's new tongue. The host continues eating and living while carrying the organism inside its mouth. It sounds like body horror invented for a movie, but it exists in nature. And perhaps that is one of the most psychologically disturbing aspects of parasitism. Nature repeatedly creates solutions more horrifying than fiction because evolution is not guided by morality or comfort, only efficiency. And nowhere does this become more disturbing than with parasitoid wasps. Some species inject eggs directly into living hosts, but others do something even stranger. They manipulate behavior before the host dies. One species of parasitic wasp targets spiders. After injecting venom and eggs, the spider continues living normally for days. But eventually, its behavior begins to change. Instead of building a normal web, the spider constructs a completely different structure designed specifically to protect the developing parasite. A final structure. A death web. Once the web is complete, the parasite kills the spider and feeds on the body while safely protected inside the structure the host itself was manipulated into creating. It is biological mind control so precise it resembles programming. And examples like this force scientists to confront uncomfortable realities about the nervous system itself. Behavior is chemical. Fear is chemical. Motivation is chemical. Even emotions emerge from biological processes inside neural circuits, which means behavior can potentially be altered by anything capable of influencing those systems. Hormones, drugs, disease, trauma, or parasites. And suddenly, humans stop feeling separate from the natural world. Because humans are biological systems too. Even rabies demonstrates how dramatically infection can alter behavior. A virus enters the nervous system and gradually transforms the host. Aggression increases. Fear changes. Salivation increases to improve transmission through bites. The virus effectively modifies behavior in ways that improve its own survival. Not consciously, not intentionally. But evolution does not require intention. Only repetition over time. The organisms that spread successfully continue existing. The ones that fail disappear. And after millions of years, nature begins producing biological strategies so advanced they appear intelligent. Some parasites manipulate insects into drowning themselves. Others force hosts into sunlight where predators can easily find them. Some alter color patterns, movement, sexual behavior, social interaction, even decision-making itself. And perhaps the most disturbing realization is that the host often continues functioning normally while manipulation occurs underneath. Which raises a deeply existential possibility. How would a creature know its thoughts were being influenced if the influence itself felt natural? Humans like to imagine consciousness as something independent, something rational, something fully ours. But neuroscience increasingly suggests the brain is constantly responding to invisible biological pressures we barely notice. Stress hormones influence decisions. Gut bacteria influence mood. Sleep deprivation alters emotional control. Neurochemistry shapes personality far more than most people realize. And parasites reveal something deeply unsettling about life itself. Behavior can be hacked. Nature discovered this millions of years before humans invented technology. Long before computers. Long before artificial intelligence. Evolution was already experimenting with biological manipulation. And the deeper researchers study parasitic organisms, the stranger the implications become. Some scientists now believe parasites may play major roles in shaping entire ecosystems, influencing food chains, predator behavior, population control, migration patterns, even social structures. Tiny organisms silently affecting massive biological systems from underneath. Invisible control shaping visible reality. Perhaps that is why parasitic mind control disturbs people so deeply, because it attacks one of the most fundamental human assumptions, the belief that we are fully in control of ourselves. And maybe complete control was always partly an illusion. After all, human behavior is already shaped by genetics, hormones, instincts, social pressure, trauma, environment, and subconscious processes. The conscious mind may be far less powerful than it feels. Parasites simply expose how vulnerable biological systems truly are. And nature does not care whether that realization feels comforting. Nature only rewards survival. A parasite that successfully manipulates behavior reproduces more effectively. So the strategy spreads. Cold. Efficient. Automatic. No evil intent. No morality. No cruelty. Just adaptation. And perhaps that is what makes these organisms more terrifying than fictional monsters. They are real. They evolved naturally. And they reveal something deeply uncomfortable about life itself. That intelligence, behavior, emotion, and even decision-making are not nearly as untouchable as humans once believed. The natural world is filled with invisible wars happening inside living bodies every second. Organisms controlling organisms. Biology rewriting biology. Silent systems manipulating other silent systems beneath the surface of reality. And maybe the most disturbing truth is this. If nature can alter the minds of ants, spiders, fish, rodents, and mammals, then consciousness itself may be far more fragile than we want to believe. Because once behavior can be controlled biologically, free will stops feeling absolute. It starts feeling temporary, conditional, and frighteningly vulnerable. The truth about parasitic mind control forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about autonomy, consciousness, and what it means to be truly in control of ourselves. From fungus controlling ants, to parasites rewiring mammalian fear, to wasps programming spiders, nature has been experimenting with mind control for millions of years. These organisms don't have consciousness or intent. They simply evolved strategies that work. And those strategies reveal how surprisingly hackable biological systems truly are. Understanding parasitic manipulation helps scientists study neurological processes, behavioral biology, and even psychiatric conditions in humans. But the knowledge comes with unsettling implications. If tiny organisms can rewrite behavior, what does that mean for concepts like choice, responsibility, and self-determination? These parasites operate without malice. They're not evil. They're just incredibly efficient evolutionary solutions to the problem of reproduction. But efficiency without ethics can be profoundly disturbing to observe. It reminds us that nature operates on rules very different from human morality. Some researchers even study these parasites to better understand how neurological disorders, addictions, and compulsive behaviors work in humans. The parallels are unsettling but scientifically valuable. Understanding biological manipulation could lead to treatments for conditions where behavior becomes uncontrollable. Yet the fundamental question remains. In a world where parasites can hijack minds, where does biological influence end and true autonomy begin? Perhaps complete autonomy is an illusion we've always needed to function. But parasites reveal that even that illusion has biological roots. The more we learn about parasitic mind control, the more we understand about the fundamental nature of consciousness, behavior, and the fragile boundary between self and other. Nature's mind control experiments remind us that we are not separate from the natural world. We are part of it, vulnerable to it, and shaped by it in ways we're only beginning to understand.